Hello.
Once again, a red face. It's really warm today. Shut up.
Apologies.
Today was 20 degrees.
It has been hot today.
It's been warm. It's been warm. And I was this morning sitting on a terraza reading a book. And I was like, is this January?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this?
2 weeks ago, it was snowing.
Yeah, somebody left a message and they were like, hang on a minute. Didn't you just have the biggest snowstorm in 50 years? I'm like, yeah, but Madrid's like, that was fun, right? Anyway, here's the sun. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome, and I hope you're feeling well.
Who have we got? Dad, of course. Eva, hello. Nina, hello. Erkan, hello. Kevin, hello. Not sure about anyone else, but feeling the bite of this lockdown in the UK now. Can't wait to get out to a nice bar for a drink with other humans. Welcome to our march last time. It sucks. Yeah.
Can we help you with wine?
Yeah, Erkan, we can send wine to London. Welcome back. Thank you again for those people who posted their tastings last week. There were some really fun ones. There was somebody, I think it's called the Fab Fur. It was a picture of like a cat posing by the bottle. But yeah, so thank you for your photos. And if you do decide to post photos this week, that's a good idea, because you could maybe win a prize.
What's the prize?
Now this time, because the last 2 times we've done this, I've opened the box and something has flown out. Okay. So, you can win 2 things. First of all, you can win a visit to a winery.
Yes, plus...
and a presentation, tasting set, and let me stand back here.
This is the wine
wines.
course. It's a wine course of 5 reds and 1 rosé. It's guided by some lessons here in a DVD, and everything comes from the same winery, but it's a perfect opportunity to learn about plot wines and aging and different varieties. And I mean, it's not that good as us learning wine.
Oh, I thought you meant our wine. I thought we don't have wine. It's not good, yeah. But it's also a really cool winery. We've done one of their wines, and you get a visit included.
It's a lovely present. We love
so
it.
if you want to win this, what do you need to do?
And if you if you don't win it, we sell it in the shop as well. But you have to take a picture of the wine we are going to have today, which is Sericis Merseguera, and upload it to your favorite networks. Can be Instagram, can be Facebook, can be Twitter, can be any network, and you tag us, Madrid Daracut. That it's all you have. The contest. Right. At the
really
wine of the first wine of the next box, the box will be February box. We will discover which is the winner.
Maybe I'll
if you are in our box, you have 6 chances to.
If you're in our box, your weird royal box. If you're in our royal box,
you have 6 opportunities to participate.
Dad says, don't rub it in. 10 degrees in Maidenhead today. Yeah, I think basically what happened in Madrid is Madrid was.
Yeah, great prize, Nina.
I think Madrid was reminding people that we are a city of 700 almost meters altitude on the Meseta. Like, we can do cold here. And then it was like, okay, that's enough. Let's go back to being Madrid, Spain. So yeah, sorry, Dad. It's very nice today. Fabio, hi there. Nina, great prize. Yes, right.
Wasn't Fabio in a coconut in Costa Rica? I heard that.
I think that's how they bury people from Costa Rica. When you die,
they
put their body in a coconut and they bury you under a coconut tree. Is that right, Fabio? If you could confirm, that'd be really good. So what are we drinking today, Mr. Madrid?
Well, as following the mood of the January box, we are going to explore an extravagant and rare, thank you, white grape called Merseguera.
Merseguera, look at this pretty bottle, isn't that
The
cool?
bottle is pretty. I mean, all the bottles of Sericis are beautiful. Are the same. It changes the color of the intersections. This is green. You have the red, which is Monastrell, and the purple, which is Bobal.
What sounds?
Thank you.
Because we definitely need more wine today.
we have had a long day of tastings. These days we don't have customers. We only have distributors trying to sell
us things.
Everybody's desperate. Actually, The street is quite sad these days because of the new restrictions, and well, but we have distributors all day.
It's funny.
Today we have had a queue of 3 distributors waiting.
It was
there.
silly. And then the person who comes in last goes, "Hey, a lot of people, things are good, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, but none of these people are giving me money. They want me to give them money. It's not the right way around.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should.
You should sell me wines, but I get the money from you." Yeah.
But well, today has been a long day of tasting wines, and well, this is going to be probably the last one.
God, I hope so.
Probably. You never know.
Yeah, because at 10 o'clock we need to be in bed. So, Merseguera. Now, put the photo up on the website for us there, Mr.
Well,
Rocky.
the first picture I'm gonna play. It's this one.
Boom. This is what we're drinking in better conditions. Sericis Merseguera. Now, I don't know if anyone from the UK is going to be able to find a Merseguera, but we'll do our best to describe it. But like Roque says, these guys have this range of wines called Sericis. This is their white. They have 2 reds as well, which we'll show you in a little bit. We have a photo of those as well. But anyway, now, for those of you who have this wine, it's time for the tasting. And I'm in charge now. For the first time in months.
How's the tasting shit?
How do I... So, wine. Oh, I feel nervous. Wine. The name is...
Sericis Cepas Viejas
Here's the name
Merseguera.
for the British people there. Sericis, which is, I believe, Latin for silk.
Yeah.
Because all the wines are very smooth and sexy.
Cepas Viejas because it comes from old vines, and
we'll mention again
Merseguera.
as well. Vintage 2018. This is not a young wine, but we'll talk about that. But 2018, uvas, grapes, as Rocky have said a couple of times. Merseguera, which I believe is also on the side. What are you doing?
Checking the focus.
Oh right.
I think you are out of focus. But I think in general, in your life.
Also, I think it's probably better for the viewers if I'm out of focus.
Sorry.
Merseguera, 100% Merseguera. This one. Alcohol, 12%. Not a very boozy wine. Producer, Bodegas Murviedro.
Yeah.
Even though it says Sericis.
It's one of the big bodegas in the area of Utiel Requena, but they work in different DOs, 4 different DOs, depending on how it's better to play the wine.
And Sericis is more their smaller independent project.
Yeah, and this one goes to Valencia DO, but the winery is settled down in the Requena area.
Yeah. And the thona of this wine.
And did you know that in origin, this and Hispano-Suizas have a common origin because they share some members of the company. They were in common.
They come from the Schenk people, don't they? Is it the same people from the original?
I don't know.
By the way, Hispano-Suizas, if you don't know, we did it.
It's a big company. We have tried also the Basus and
everything they make is very, very good.
Yeah, but they have some business partners in common, Murviedro, in origin, but now they are separate companies.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
I'm learning about the gossips,
Incestuous intercommunitary gossip.
the gossips of the wine.
So, color intensity. It's quite nice little bit. It's not a dark wine.
It's not that dark, but it's more yellow than the last whites we have been trying.
It's definitely more golden than the last red we tried.
Sorry.
It's got the it's kind of a slightly golden yellow color, but not. It's still quite pale. But there's a little bit of color there, which we'll talk about in a minute because this relates to the aromas as well.
Super
Beautiful, clear, beautifully clear, crystalline. No problems in this one. Now,
aromas. Interesting.
it's really cool. So,
this doesn't smell like Chardonnay.
thank God. No, I'm just joking. Sorry. Now, before we mention what we think and what reasons, if you have got this wine, I know Fabio will have some cool answer. Please let us know what you think you can smell. Not you think, what it's telling you in the glass, because it's got quite a complex nose. There's a reason for that. What do you smell, Mr. Madrid?
I smell some. I think there is a fruit here, which is not typical, the classic tropical fruits you get in Verdejo, but it's acidic. I mean, there is something like citruses. citrus.
Yeah,
But
if anything tropical, maybe a touch of pineapple, but it's not tropical like mango and. There's a little bit of spiciness and sort of smoky fire. Yeah, there is a fruit, but I can't. Lychee? No.
lychee, lichis in Spanish, lichis.
Lychees. A bit of wood. So.
How do you know the lychees smell?
Because I've eaten.
I mean, you're a weird person.
I'm not. I'm not doubting that fact. I never said I was not weird. We know I'm an English eccentric.
How many of you do know how the lychees smell?
People who've had lychees know how lychees smell. Have you never had one? Well, that's your fault. Don't be angry
I think
at
once
me.
in a wedding.
What?
Anyway, so
My brain's going some weird places there. Anyway,
a bit of wood.
So this
Ever
wine.
got some the wood as well?
Yes,
I didn't actually.
So
And
this
it's
is
so subtle.
an interesting. Well, we have a message. Well, not a message. We have a message, a video from the bodega doing a little Spanish cata of this. But for those of you who don't speak Spanish, just a quick thing before it gets repeated later. This wine has had carbonic maceration, which is interesting because that's very common to have with red wines like Beaujolais, the Primero wine here. Which did Ulrich get his big bottle? Oh, it's still there. Okay, poor guy.
Who won it?
Ulrich
Please.
Junberg.
We want back our desk room.
I told him, he was like, I'll try and get it sometime. I was like, okay. Anyway, so those wines where you have whole clusters of grapes fermenting in an intracellular way because they're in this anaerobic tank, so they can't breathe, so they start to sort of internally ferment with their own cells and their own yeasts. Fine. Generally gives you very soft, very gentle aromas, very soft, gentle wines. And with red wines, things like bubblegum and banana and stuff, weird stuff. You don't see it that often with white wines. Now, this is where my knowledge kind of leaves me because I've not had that many white wines. But maybe, no, I don't know if this is my brain telling me because I know the process, but is there some banana there? Maybe there is. I don't know.
A little bit.
And then, this is where Ava says wood, it is then fermented in barrels, where it's only there for 2 months, but they do that batonnage thing, which we mentioned on the last white wine, where they stir up all the bits of yeast and stuff for a couple of months every week. So even though it's not a wooded wine, it's not aged in barrels, it is fermented in oak, and it's left there for a couple of months. So it's got a lot going on for a grape no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
They've really thought, okay, let's do some crazy stuff with this grape. I like it. Kaki, that's your favourite fruit.
I don't get kaki. It's my favorite fruit.
And I get insulted for lychees. You eat kakis, you weirdo. Anyway, so
It's my favorite fruit. I celebrate the first day of the kaki season.
I don't hate it, but I don't share your passion. It's quite soft
It's
flavour.
Japanese. This is Japanese.
I love it
fruit.
then.
It's Japanese fruit. You share.
I always said kaki-san. It's my favourite. Okay, taste, flavour.
Yep. It's very smooth.
Smooth as... Well, this is a good thing. We have mouthfeel on here. Smooth as a peach. Now, Merseguera is not a high acid.
Spicy.
It is spicy, isn't it? It's very sort of round. It's kind of full. This is not a acidic grape. So you have two options sometimes. You can blend it or do something, pick it really early to make it more acidic, or probably what Murviedro did, following their Silk Sericis brand, they've gone, look, let me just double check again, sorry. There is acidity. It's pretty balanced, but it's not like a, ooh, zing. So I'm imagining they've gone, right, this wine is never going to be the Albarino of Valencia. It's not a high acid, so instead, let's charge it full of aromas and interesting flavors to make it more of a complex experience as opposed to a nice, crisp Mediterranean white wine. That's my idea.
I want to talk a little bit about the grape. I'm gonna wait to finish the tasting sheet, but I want to talk about the grape. I have things to ask you.
Okay.
But let's finish the tasting sheet.
Strangely threatening, that. I have things to ask you. But we'll finish this first. Okay. Balance, for what it is, I think it's exceptionally balanced.
Yeah, it's very balanced.
A wine like this, you know, a moderate acidity, moderate alcohol, kind of moderate. If they weren't careful, this could be too oaky.
It's a little bit oily.
That's yeah. I think that's. You know what? I don't know why that is. I guess it's the variety. I have not tried that many Mersegueras. But yeah, I don't know if that must come from the lees.
No,
maybe?
it's very elegant.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Daraka, allow me to use the word elegant.
It's your favorite word. Mine is sexy. Yours is elegant.
I know, because your father is going to ask you, what do you mean with elegant?
It wasn't bloody elegant. It doesn't make any sense. You can't taste it.
Okay, pairing. Well, this is a wine very interesting to pair because it would much perfect any kind of rice.
Yeah, I think this is
rice, seafood rice, paellas.
It's got the aroma.
Risottos, creamy risottos. They would be perfect with that.
Yeah, this is definitely definitely not, I should say, Marisco style white wine because of the lower acidity and the highly complex. This is definitely give us a nice big rich rice dish.
No.
Even some some sort of game or wild, white hunt, white meat.
Perdices.
Yeah.
Or codornices.
Partridge and stuff.
Do you remember when
Dad, now define balanced. Okay. Classic Derek cuts. Now this one's easier. Balanced is basically when everything is in harmony and nothing stands out too much. As it's very nice, but too. So if a wine, for example, which we often describe as hot, if it's an alcoholic wine, 15%. If you do this and you go, ooh, you can get the alcohol. Now maybe you still love the wine. But maybe that wine is not very balanced because the alcohol is too present. Or a lot of Basque white wines, which I love, can be too acidic. They're very nice, but maybe they haven't balanced it out enough. So it's like, ugh, it's great wine, but it burns.
Yeah.
So if anything jumps out too much, we can say maybe it's not overly balanced, which doesn't mean the wine is bad. It just means it's not maybe perfectly balanced,
And now define eclectic. Okay, so
my music tastes.
yeah. Temperature
Pretty cold.
Yeah.
But not too cold. But this is not as.
This is 8, 7, 8.
Yeah. Because even though it's quite complex, it's not like we're not talking a big aged barley white. So I think nice and cold still.
The price is around €11, right?
11.50, 11.40. Yeah.
And the glass.
Normal glass.
Normal glass. Don't go too big, but don't go for a small one. So medium size.
Don't be too specific. Hey, don't go too big, but also don't go too small either.
Well,
getting some.
Let's talk about Merseguera. I'm so interested in asking a couple of questions here.
A couple of questions. Go for it.
This is Merseguera.
What a pretty grape. It looks like the grapes you buy from Dia.
Yeah.
From the supermarket.
It's a grape. It's a classic from the Mediterranean area.
It is indeed. Valencia, most specifically, probably.
But also Jumilla. Also, all these Mediterranean little arc.
Alicante, yeah.
You find it there. So I guess but you don't find it in any other place. Or of course, I mean there will be exceptions that I don't know.
Well,
but it's not a popular grape in other places.
No, and if you read who knows? Maybe there's some crazy guy in California making it. Probably is, but.
Yeah. But for example, I think the only 2 or 3 Mersegueras we have come from this area.
Alicante, Valencia.
Alicante, we have Mostiguillo, that is a Pago wine from Alicante as well.
It's all around there.
Yeah.
Basically,
it's a very Mediterranean, and it seems it adapts very well to the conditions of the Mediterranean climate.
Yeah. It's like the Mediterranean version of Albarino. It is from there, it's grown there, it always has grown there, and it doesn't seem to go anywhere else. Now, Genetically, it seems that it's from Valencia area, but of course it's spread around there. But it's interesting because it's one of the few varieties from that part, Valencia, Alicante, so I'm just looking at my map, which has not gone up. Because in Catalonia, which is Mediterranean, you have Monastrell, which is from Roques area, but it's up.
I'm going to advance the map.
There you go, yeah.
I will use it later, but...
So you see, there's the Valencia area, and all those regions to the north are the Catalan ones, and you'll find a lot of the grapes are shared. You'll find Malvasia, you'll find Moscatel, you'll find Monastrell. So these are all grapes which probably are from further down south. Interestingly, Merseguera did not leave. It's not in Catalonia. Well, I'm sure there's some crazy guy, but it never got there. But it seems to be from there. I don't really know why. It might be a similar idea like Bobal. It was never historically used for great wines. I actually found in my... Do you want to hear a funny quote?
Okay, go ahead. But I hope it's funny.
Well, it's cruel. So I have my big wine Bible called Wine Grapes, which is like a genetic encyclopedia of all the grapes that have had their genetics planted and mapped out. So fun fact, Merseguera is actually rather close genetically to Torrontés. But anyway, every grape has a little sort of headline, like Tempranillo would be like the king of Spanish grapes, or Monastrell might be big dark Jumilla variety or something. The headline, I'll read this verbatim, the headline for Merseguera: uninspiring variety widely planted in eastern central Spain.
Sounds like the description of my town.
Yeah, that's true. So even in the description it goes, it's quite a lackluster grape traditionally, with moderate alcohol, lightly herbaceous, bitter almonds traditionally. So traditionally, before you had very good winemakers, they used to blend it a lot with Malvasia, because a Malvasia or Chardonnay that add a bit more body, add a bit more kick. But interestingly, I don't think they exist anymore, but they might. They used to use Merseguera to make rancio style wines, these oxidized wines or sweet wines, which I don't think we've seen.
No, I haven't.
So I think basically it's got like this, it's kind of a messy history. Fun fact as well, that an official synonym in Valencia, Marisancho. Can I get a glass of Marisancho? It's fun, it's like an old lady.
Hola, me llamo Mari Sancho y llevo aquí viviendo 30 años.
Well, obviously, I mean, it's a variety that's very well adapted to little rain regions, like all the Levante part of Spain. So it's very
Drought resistant.
It works very well with the droughts.
Droughts, yeah, which is down there can be really
In my area, where I was born, in the Campo de Cartagena, we have some experimenting new plantations for recovering Merseguera, because Merseguera was one of the varieties there in that region before the water came through the
irrigation and stuff.
There were wine there, and Merseguera was one of the varieties.
I don't know where exactly Campo de Cartagena where are the vineyards? Are they near like Torre Pacheco area?
Well, no, I guess they were everywhere. All these, because it's like a salty plain, you know.
Your dad should grow some grapes.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
We are working hard in that.
Really?
Yeah, me and my sister, we are putting some pressure.
Ooh, that's cool.
But anyway, I've tried, and you've tried with me, some Mersegueras from that area.
Well,
and they were hard to drink. It can be a very tough.
But hang on, are we talking about the ones that your dad gave us?
No more details. You are saying that, okay? You say it, but that's not the point. I'm talking about the wine.
But that wasn't.
What's the?
They were corked.
Focus. Look, focus, please. So
I need some more alcohol.
it can be a very hard, very strong, very tough, rough, wild grape.
Just like the people.
So that's why I appreciate more this this wine precisely because I have tried this grape and I know how bad it can be. So I can tell you
This is like a
this
masterpiece.
is a masterpiece
Yeah.
of Merseguera. Well, of course it can be. We have tried different Mersegueras, very good ones.
And I'm sure some bodegas have some really expensive, fancy ones.
But it's a hard to work Merseguera because one, I guess, it's a hard climate area,
Yeah.
extreme one,
This will be in the drier parts of Valencia, I suppose.
and it must be. I mean, it must be complicated to manage all that, you know. And if you are not a good winemaker
That's
and
the key.
you don't use the perfect process for making these wines, can be like too much.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Like every grape, not every, but almost every wine grape has potential. And often the more of an asshole that grape is, the better the potential, or the better the possibility of a terrible wine. So you need a very good winemaker to be able to work the land and work that difficult vine well enough to get a good wine. So traditionally, like, I mean, even in the last 10 years, Mencía has improved, like Bobal has improved. So I guess Merseguera is on the same little route. It's just a question of knowledge. So like we say, this month we wanted to choose some more weird grapes to highlight that there's these other grapes. And
But for
Merseguera
example, I've tried bad Bobal, and when Bobal is not well made, it's like it's plain.
This taste of red. Yeah.
It's very plain. But when this is not well done, it's like a elephant transvestite into, you know.
That sounds quite good. I would pay to see that.
It's like what?
What is
It's like
that?
too much.
Too much.
So I think it's a grape with a great potential, but good enologist, a good winemaker has to be behind the wine. Otherwise, it can be a grape out of control.
Speaking of the winemaker, and obviously we haven't got all the time today, we want to show the video. Before I talk about the winery, should we put the little video on to finish off this wine, and then I'll tell you a little bit about Morviedro.
Hoy vamos a catar nuestro vino Sericis Merseguera. Es un vino elaborado con la variedad Merseguera 100%, una variedad solo encontraréis aquí, en la Comunidad Valenciana. Vendimiamos a mano en pequeñas cajas, en el racimo entero, y lo que hacemos es fermentarlo con maceración carbónica. Fermentamos grano a grano. Después lo terminamos de fermentar en barricas de roble francés, 3 meses sobre lías, y aquí tenéis el vino listo para tomar. En color, pues el vino se ve muy límpido, brillante, sobre todo verdoso, y en boca resulta muy agradable, equilibrado, largo, y es un vino muy gastronómico. ¡Salud!
Fancy. So the winery, they sent us a multi-camera tasting of this one. Now, because he didn't mention the winery, of course, it was just the grape and the wine. Very quick history of Morviedro. It's quite a large winery. It's not like a tiny old, family-run thing from the 1700s. This is a winery, Morviedro, who have travelled around quite a bit. So you'll notice if you have the bottle, it says Morviedro 1927. However, 1927, the original name was Bodegas Schenk, which is obviously a foreign, I think it was Austrian, and that originally set up in Catalunya. Then in 1929, they opened bodegas in Alicante, and they produced what they called vino a granel de calidad. Then 1931, that's when they finally moved to Valencia. 1997, they also put their fingers in the pies of Uti Requena, which is now the HQ. And in 2002, which was the 75th anniversary, it was finally renamed Morviedro instead of Schenk, in honor of their cavas, which they called Morviedro. And that was their flagship wine, so they renamed then. So even though it says Morviedro 1927, it was originally Schenk, but in 2002 they renamed themselves, so it's kind of had a rebirthing. What's Fabio saying? He's lying about this being exclusive to Valencia. Shameful. I mean, I don't care. I think he meant... No, he would know they got it in Alicante. Who knows?
Well, I mean, it's popular in all the Levante region. That includes Murcia, includes Valencia, Alicante, all this area.
Maybe he meant like 100% or something. Because the Alicante one we've had is a blend. We'll investigate, Fabio. We won't investigate very hard. We'll investigate.
Well, let me tell us
us a quick
about,
thing about Valencia.
about the region, because Valencia is one of the DOs of the Valencia Comunidad with Alicante, and it's located, of course, in the province of Valencia, and it's divided in four subzones: Alto Turia, Moscatel de Valencia, which is also is a grape, but it's also a region.
It's a ridiculous name for a region.
Valentino.
Hi, boys. My name is Valentino.
And Clariano.
Clariano. It's a cool name.
So, well, as we have been saying, it has the Mediterranean climate, but it's marked as all the Levante regions with the big heavy storms, especially in the September, October.
La Gota Fria.
La Gota Fria.
I was in a Gota Fria once in Alicante.
Oh, really?
Up to my knees in water on the streets. It's crazy.
This climate phenomenon happens in different parts of the Mediterranean, not only in this area, but it's one of the characteristics of this part. It's a very eclectic.
It's one of those
region.
crazy ones, isn't it?
Yeah, because it has a lot of varieties allowed: Macabeo, Malvasia, Merseguera, Muscat, Pedro Ximénez, blue, blah, blah, blah. It's a long list. And reds is Garnacha, Monastrell, Tempranillo, Garnacha Tintorera, Forcallat, Bobal, Cabernet Sauvignon, blah, blah. And a long list. I mean, it's a very...
Do you want to maybe think of some grapes that don't exist there?
Yeah, it could be. You have... all the kind of wines except sparkling wines are not allowed in the Valencia region.
That's weird,
probably because Utiel Requena. Sorry, that's another one. That's another wine region. I said Valencia, Alicante, and Utiel Requena. So I forgot to mention that. Utiel Requena is included also in the Cava wine region. So obviously it makes more sense. Well, Alicante has sparkling wines. The production it's very productive.
Pretty big, right?
It's pretty big. It's 42 million
Crikey.
liters of wine, and this week I'm gonna advance you the data. 70% of this 42 million
National.
international.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Where?
I think in the suitcases of all those Germans and
All of
Danish people.
Bodega Schenk. Makes sense. The only buys the Valencia wine.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know where this wine's going. I was fighting back against.
Okay, yeah, it's well done. Well done.
Now, do we have time for a quick question?
Yeah.
And by the way, if you have any questions, write them now, because we haven't got much time left, as you know. Quarantine, toque de queda, curfew. We have a question from, what a name, Genevieve Mata, or Genevieve Mata.
That's a classic Hispano-Suiza's name.
Yeah, Genevieve Mata. She's probably from Zurich or something. So she says, given that you guys are trying more weird grapes this month, or I guess different weird grapes, what are some other lesser known varieties that you love? So there's a couple that I like.
But she wants to advance us the new surprises we are going to bring to the tasting, to the boxes, to the podcast.
Or maybe we can use this to create temptation.
What is unique? What does she want? I think she wants to meet you.
Genevieve. Hang on.
Weird
Genevieve.
grapes.
Well, I've got some that I like, so I'll begin.
Okay.
There's a white grape and a red grape from the same region, which we will hopefully do at some point, if you show interest. A region called Arribas del Duero, which is on the border with Portugal. They have a white grape called Doña Blanca, and they have a red grape called...
I like that.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they have Juan Garcia, which is the stupidest name for a grape.
Yeah.
Hola, Juan Garcia.
I've tried an sparkling Juan Garcia.
What?
In the Ribera del Guadiana tasting with you. It's in the podcast.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I was probably drunk. And for me, really unknown, well, fairly unknown. I'm fast. I love the Basque country. I love Basque wines, and I had Ondarrabi Beltza, the black grape, the red grape. Black is Beltza, Zuri is white, so Ondarrabi Zuri, Ondarrabi Beltza for the white chacolis. But they have red chacoli wines, which are very hard to find, and they're really interesting. They're like if Mencía, like a crisp, bright Mencía, had a baby with Cabernet Franc. Really intriguing. Those are just a couple of examples off the top of my head, which I really like.
Well, if I were in a shop and I see a bottle of wine with this grape, I would buy it immediately. I could buy Castellana Negra. I love it. We have tried just one bottle and it was lovely.
It was really good.
I would try it again just for, just to see if it's as good as I remember. But it was really good. Castellana Negra. It was Tenerife wine. Yeah, it was Tenerife wine.
From which bit?
Tacoronte.
Really good. And it was like from
Dominguez. It was the name.
From 2011.
Yeah.
It was like some rich
Castellana.
Bordeaux.
I would love to try that again. I love the Madrid Malvar, which is not very famous,
Yeah,
but
good
it's not
point.
weird.
It's not weird. Oh, also from Palma. So we did a wine from La Palma.
Negramol is something. Is another one. Manto Negro.
I don't think that, the Llanos Negros. I don't think you tried the white because we sold it all.
I haven't.
It's a grape called Gual.
Me da
Really nice.
Wow.
Me da igual. Really intriguing.
And the other day I tried one of the wines you brought to the shop called Panza Blanca, and I love that.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
From a region which is not necessarily your region, but it's really intriguing.
Yep. So I would go with those two.
But of
Castellana
course,
Negra.
yeah. I mean, there's so many grapes here, and in the future boxes, we'll try and maybe not have so many crazy grapes, unless that's what you guys like. Maybe you prefer the weird ones. But we always try to have a mixture of a couple of classic things, some more interesting things, because there's so much wine in this country and so many grapes that it's our mission to bring them all to you one by one.
Exactly.
So yes, no questions from the people here. On Sunday, this will be our last tasting of this wonderful month.
We are trying the big boy of the box. We are trying Remeyuri.
Reserva Rioja from
Prepare
2012.
your charcuterie, your cheese, your red meat,
your fire and your cat.
whatever you're gonna put on that pan is fine for that wine.
And this is a good one for those of you who are not here with us in Spain with our wines. Try and get your hands on a Rioja Reserva. It doesn't have to be from 2012, but try and get your hands on a Reserva, because that will help you really. It won't be the same winery, but you can interact hopefully more with us on the tasting, and everything we say will speak to you and your wine.
Well, please, if you're in Madrid, if you are bored at home, you don't want to go out because you're scared, you're...
Hang on, let me turn you back on. Yeah. You have no friends.
You don't have friends. Like, look, if you are darker,
No, I objectively
no, you have a lot of
have
friends.
too many friends.
Yeah, too many.
Just no real friends.
I know.
Right, let's go. You need
Well,
to
so
drive
if
home.
you're in Madrid and you need wine at home, call us or grade us or go to the
Send
website
a pigeon.
and it will be in your place for free if it's 6 bottles or more.
That's got a Reserva Rioja. Good.
Good.
€5 said he just ran to the kitchen to check. I've got one! Anyway, right. Have a lovely Wednesday.
Whoa.
Jesus, that's my laptop. And we'll see you on Sunday for a lovely, fancy Rioja.
Cheers.